Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Ironbark Podcast. And I am your host, as always, Epion. And today, we have quite the episode in store for you. We have the one, the only, me. And that's it. That's all you're getting, just me today. So, we're going to talk about tardigrades. Tardigrades, everyone's favorite microscopic organism. Water bears, if you will, is another name for them. I'm going to read to you the abstract from a research paper, if I can find it. Well, folks, I think I accidentally closed the tab that I had for this. Oh no. Okay, here we go. ACS Publications. Patterning on living tardigrades. That's right. They're putting tattoos on tardigrades. Are they actually tattoos? Sort of. They're markings. So I'm going to read you the abstract from the paper. Who was this? I got to give credit where credit is due here. And I'm going to butcher this name, but the paper is called Patterning on Living Tardigrades. Zhirong Yang, Shan Wu, Kang Zhao, Ding Zhao, and Min Kui. I don't know, and I am sorry. My Mandarin, or I don't know, Chinese, I suppose, is not. I don't know it. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with it. I wish I was more familiar with it. I wish I had a broader understanding and intelligence when it comes to cultural pronunciations of names, but I don't. I'm sorry. Micro nanofabrication techniques have revolutionized modern photonics and electronics. However, conventional methods remain incompatible with living organisms due to inherent constraints, including non-conformal coating, radiation damage, and toxic solvent requirements. Here, we present ice lithography for direct fabrication of micro/nanoscale patterns on the surfaces of tardigrades in their cryptobiotic state. Remarkably, upon rehydration, the tardigrades revive, retaining the pattern on their surfaces by precisely controlling parameters such as ice thickness, beam energy, and substrate properties. This method minimizes sample damage while achieving patterns as small as 72 nm. These patterns remain stable even after stretching, solvent immersion, rinsing, and drying. This approach provides new insights into tardigrades' resilience and has potential applications in cryopreservation, biomedicine, and astrobiology. Furthermore, integrating micro/nanofabrication techniques with living organisms could catalyze advancements in biosensing, biometrics, and living microbiotics. Ooh, that's a lot of big words. That's a lot of big words in the big time, yeah. Well, let me just tell you a simple way of saying this. You got tardigrades, or these they're basically little bugs. They're tiny little bugs. They microscopic little water bears. They're cute as all can be. You might say it kind of looks like a caterpillar, maybe just a little bit. And they laser on through like this ice lithographing technique a pattern. It sort of looks like something similar to Braille, if you could put it that way, or sort of like a QR code type of engraving onto the specimen. From that, what is it? Oh, and they can only do it when they're in a certain stage. And then they're in this like stage where they like dehydrate and they basically become immortal. And they're like impervious to really high temperatures, really low temperatures. But when they're not in that state, they're actually pretty fragile and they can die pretty easily. So yeah, they can only do it when they're like near in this immortal state. This is pretty cool. There's a podcast a long time ago where we talked about tardigrades and their implications on like space travel, because we could technically send them on a wafer very far away and travel near the speed of light. And then if they're marked with little, patterns and stuff, we could technically activate the tardigrade, and then its pattern could signal to something else on the device to start taking like measurements and readings. Kinda cool. Kinda fucking really cool. I want to see SpaceX tardigrades. I want to be able to buy them in a petri dish. I want to love them. I want to take care of them. I want to feed them little morsels of food, and I want to watch them grow up underneath a microscope. Make it happen, Elon. Make it happen. This is what the world needs right now, is pet tardigrades. You know it, I know it, everyone knows it. I want a SpaceX logo on my tardigrade. And I want it to be able to summon my Tesla. Okay? Dude, I don't have a Tesla, but I wish I did. And if I did, my tardigrade would summon it. Anyway, moving onward. So what I wanted to do here is I was like, this kind of shit is going to drive conspiracy thinking people or speculative thinking people fucking bananas. It's going to happen. But I don't necessarily disagree with maybe some of the conspiracies or speculative natured thinking. So I decided to ask Grok, because I was like, wow, I can't think of anything necessarily on my own. I was like, okay, you inject me full of tardigrades that all have bio markings on them. They're like in my body. Does that mean I'm like detectable? Could I be like seen differently through like heat imaging? Maybe through like some sort of scanner technology? Kind of interesting, right? I don't know. Like, what else could they do? Like, I don't know. Nanotech is just kind of scary in general, right? Because they don't necessarily need a tardigrade to do that. So I asked Grok, good old AI Grok. This is XAI's artificial intelligence. It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's incredibly smart. It predicted accurately that I would win the election without a doubt. So I asked Grok, what are the implications and consequences related to tattoo and tardigrades? So this is what Grok had to say. The tattooing of tardigrades, microscopic organisms, known for their extreme resilience, using lithography to etch nanoparticles, has sparked both scientific interest and speculative discussions. Below, I outline the implications of this breakthrough and address conspiracy theories drawing on available information and critical analysis. I'm going to let you know right now the conspiracy theory stuff it drew upon is kind of a letdown, but we're going to go forward. Implications of tattooing tardigrades. Advancements in bioengineering and nanomedicine. Biocompatible microfabrication. The technique demonstrates the potential to integrate micro and nanoscale devices with living organisms, enabling the creation of biosensors, microelectronics, or living micro robots. This could revolutionize fields like biomedicine by allowing sensors to monitor health conditions in real time or deliver targeted drug therapies. That's actually pretty fucking cool. You have a tardigrade in there or some shit, or like some nanobot, and it's like, oh, that's weird. We detected like higher blood cell count, and like that must mean there's like cancer going on here. Let's go find that cancer cell and let's destroy it. Oh my god, if tardigrades are the cure for cancer, bro, our little buddies. They're our little buddies for life, like 100%. Applications beyond tardigrades. Researchers, including Ding Zhao, suggest the method could extend to other organisms, such as bacteria, broadening its use in tissue engineering, cryptopreservation, and astrobiology. This could lead to hybrid systems combining synthetic technology and biological entities, like microbial cyborgs. Could there be a combination of AI and microbial cyborgs? We're getting kind of cool. We're getting kind of interesting. We're getting kind of intro-dasting, if you will. I'm going to let your minds run wild, and I want to hear in the comments everything that came to your mind when you hear this type of shit, because I want to know the juice. Cryptopreservation and astrobiology. The process provides insights into tardigrades' resilience, particularly in their cryptobiotic state, which could inform techniques for preserving biological matter at low temperatures or studying life in extreme environments such as space. So I kind of touched on that with the space wafer, send them out near the speed of light. Once they get to like a new star system, they kind of like turn on because they can sense the sun. The heat of the sun activates them, and then when the sensors pick up that the tardigrades are moving and they have like those patterns, and it activates other parts of the machine. I digress. I'll continue. Ethical and safety considerations. Survival rates. Only about 40% of tardigrades survive the tattooing process, raising ethical questions about the harm caused to living organisms for scientific gain. Refinements to improve survival rates are needed to address these concerns. This is kind of... So if you watch tardigrades under a microscope and you know they're there, you won't be able to harm them if you know they're there. But I have to say without a matter of doubt that every time you use hand sanitizer, you're like massacring millions of microorganisms. So we're getting kind of weird. We're getting kind of weird now because I knowingly won't kill something if I'm viewing it under a microscope, but I will use hand sanitizer without necessarily knowing there's anything on my hands. Isn't that kind of, that's a weird like moral conundrum, isn't it? A little bit like, and I know a lot of people are hearing this and be like, I'm not going to care about things I can't see on my hands, but it's food for thought. It's kind of like this like weird like moral ethical thought experiment. You can just chew on it a little bit, try to go deeper in it. Broader ethical discourse. As technology advances, there is a need to discuss on the manipulation of living organisms, especially if applied to more complex life forms. This includes societal and regulatory considerations about biotechnology's impact. This is like AI, and then, you know how like Elon was like freaking out about AI and it's like being able to like regulate it, and he was talking about seatbelts and how long it took to get seatbelts, and he just saw like it was just running off the rails and it was just getting away from everyone before it could be regulated. What about biotech? Huh? What about these tattooed gangster ass tardigrades running around? You know, are we putting regulations on them? It doesn't seem like it. I don't think anyone's thinking about it. Scientific milestone. The precision of ice lithography, creating patterns as small as 72 nanometers, marks a technical achievement. It showcases tardigrades as ideal test subjects due to their ability to withstand extreme conditions, paving the way for future research into biocompatible nanotechnology. All right, now we're getting into the juice. We're getting into the nitty gritty. We're getting into the brass tacks, if you will. That's some good tea, but it's still a bit too hot. Okay. Conspiracy theories and speculative narratives. Bomb, bomb, bomb. While tattooing of tardigrades is a scientific endeavor, it has fueled speculative and conspiratorial discussions, particularly on platforms like X, due to its futuristic and seemingly bizarre nature. Below are some conspiracy theories and their critical examination. Which is kind of cool that he examines the own stuff. But tardigrades as precursors to human nanotech control. Theory. Some posts on X suggest that tattooing tardigrades is a stepping stone to implanting nanotechnology such as 5G chip. What? Okay, 5G or surveillance devices into humans. Okay. I don't know about 5G chips. I do not know about that. Surveillance devices, technically, right? Technically, into humans. For example, a user quipped about scientists moving from vaccines to brain tattoos for control purposes. Tattoo on your brain. Well, how would I'm not exactly sure how to control you. I need a more in-depth explanation. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if you if that could be like a Neuralink in a way. But Neuralink has like rods in. What if it was like a wireless Neuralink and you could like lithograph the brain? Food for thought. Analysis. This theory lacks evidence and stems from broader distrust of nanotechnology and biomedical research. The tardigrade study focuses on biocompatible microfabrication for medical applications, not human surveillance. The leap to 5G chips ignores the technical and ethical barriers for such applications. Moreover, tardigrades' unique resilience makes them a specific model, not a direct analog for human applications. That's true. Humans couldn't necessarily survive that. But like at small portions of their body? I don't know. We're pretty hydrated. Tardigrades and alien technology. Theory. Given tardigrades' ability to survive extreme conditions, including space, some speculating that tattooing them is part of a secret project to develop alien-inspired technology or communicate with extraterrestrial life. This ties into the astrobiology research. I mean, so it's been a long time coming. People have talked about these really light substrates called, I think they're called like wafers, like space wafers. It's like a really, really small thing that you can launch to basically at the speed of light or close to it, like very close to the speed of light. And you could, in theory, put a tardigrade on it. Now, if you have something like that, I don't know, could a dehydrated tardigrade in its like state where he's like immortal could have survived the speed of light? That would be a really interesting experiment. Have we sent a tardigrade at the speed of light yet? I can't remember if they've done that. Could they do that? Could they launch a wafer that? Well, they need to launch a wafer. Oh, well, if you send a wafer at the speed of light at Earth, that might be. They'd have to catch it somehow. Okay, I'm getting too deep into thoughts here. Analysis. While tardigrades are studied in astrobiology due to their durability, the tattooing experiment is terrestrial applications like biosensors, not extraterrestrial communication. The process uses well-documented techniques like isolithography, not speculative alien technology such as theories often exaggerate scientific goals to fit a narrative of hidden agendas. So this is the next part. Tardigrades forming tardigangs or militarized microbots. Theory. Humorous yet conspiratorial posts on X suggest tattooed tardigrades could form organized groups known as tardigangs, or be weaponized as microscopic cyborgs for espionage or biological warfare. Analysis. These ideas are largely satirical, playing on the anthropomorphic nickname water bears. The study suggests focuses on medical and scientific applications like sensors and micro robots for drug delivery, not militarization. The 40% survival rate and the complexity of controlling microscopic organisms make weaponization impractical. Ethical outrage and misinterpretation. Theory. Some reactions on X, web comments, label the researchers as killers for 60% mortality rate, suggesting that the experiment is cruel or part of a broader pattern of unethical science. We need justice for the water bears. We need justice for the water bears. The tardigrades need to be protected at all costs. It's a weird debate. It's a weird discussion. Like I said earlier, you see them under a microscope, you're not going to intentionally kill one. Most people. Some people might. If it's for the better of human advancement, like curing cancer, is the juice worth the squeeze? Keep in mind, a lot of vaccines are developed from dead viruses. Those are also arguably living microorganisms. Though if they reach a definition of life or not, it's kind of like a hard one. Same with fire. In some definitions, that fire and viruses both meet the criteria of life. So that's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing. And most of you would probably say, if it cures cancer, hell yeah. Analysis. While ethical concerns are valid, the outrage often overlooks the context. Tardigrades are invertebrates with no known pain response, and the study aims to minimize harm through future refinements. Comparing this to cruelty in higher animals is a misrepresentation. The scientific community is already addressing ethical implications, as noted in calls for broader discourse. I mean, do you kill a mosquito? Like, you kill mosquitoes, they bite you, like, no problem, because it's like humans first, right? Protecting yourself. You don't want to get malaria or something like that, some bloodborne West Nile. Ticks, same thing. Spiders, probably, maybe. Bees, maybe. They're all larger than microorganisms. You clean your hands non-stop because you don't want to get infected. Clean out your wounds because you don't want to get gangrene. Not all bacteria are good, guys. You got to get the light down there. Clean out the lungs. Use a little bit of bleach. Remember those days? Critical perspective. I don't know if I should read all this. Why not? Let's take in some time. The tattooing of tardigrades is groundbreaking, but early stage experiment with significant potential for biomedicine and nano. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. It's basically repetitive. It's a bunch of shit I've already said. Conclusion. The implications of tattooing tardigrades center on advancements in bioengineering. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 oh blah 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 blah. If you knew what I was saying there, do you know? No, you don't. I was saying that's the end of the podcast. That's not actually what I was saying, but I'm going to roll with it. It's a good segue. Oh, should I talk about my content yeah, we got to do it. We're going to end it by talking about what I put out this week. We're going to end it by talking about what I put out this week, and it's going to be great. It's going to be marvelous. A lot of people might maybe appreciate it. We got a Wildlife Wednesday back. We got bighorn sheep walking majestically through a field like, what is that movie? Gladiator. It's fucking beautiful. It's marvelous. It's beautiful. We got a image of willows, or what some people would call I posted on a really nice picture. Some bighorn sheep sitting in front of a rock formation with a mountain in the background. I just said, life is beautiful, and life is beautiful sometimes. Sometimes it's harsh, but it's also beautiful. A nice little small hole in the ceiling of a cave when I went to go look at some cacatus. And that brings us back to last podcast. So that's all, folks. I haven't been posting. I haven't been ghosting. I haven't been mosting. I haven't been chosting, but that's it. And I'm back with a brand new epi. Sodi for Yui. Good night, everyone. I enjoyed this podcast. I hope you did too. Later days.